What is happening? Welcome to another Raw Data Early Access stream. I am Spencer Kitagawa, aka Very Mahalo, and with me on the couch we have some familiar faces, including Mila here. First off, we'd like to welcome concept artist Daniel Zhao. What's up, DX?
Hey, I'm Daniel.
Next, we'd like to welcome our level designer. He wore pants today, Andrew Abidian.
I wore pants today, Andrew Abidian.
Yes, that's how we're going to intro him from
There
now
it
on.
is.
And last but not least, making her stream debut, Amy Pantay in the Vive, replacing Stefan. Say hi, Amy.
Hello, hello.
Awesome. Well, we're in for a doozy today, guys, because update 0.4 is live, and there are a ton of features and fixes in store for you guys, which include 2 new missions, Extermination and Thundershock, multiplayer leaderboards. We have a new plasma turret model. We also have a new defense type called the Shield Station, and now Ninja Bots can teleport. There's a bunch of performance issues also that we will be addressing. If Andrew wants to take that.
Sure. So we're very active on the forums, on Reddit. We hear you guys out. So we've been really trying to tackle our performance issues. It's like an ongoing thing. We're developing an early access product. So we put in, kind of mess things up. We fix it as we go along, but we've been getting a lot of feedback. And some of the things that we've been doing, just to list, we've been like refactoring UI, working on player collision, player movement, tuned up match finding a bit, minor AI improvements. I think something that some people will be really happy about is working on the reducing the latency on hand tracking. So this was that whole thing where you guys have your hands in real life not matching up with your virtual hands as you see them in the Steam overlay. So this should be improved pretty substantially, and more improvements on the way. As always, early access product, working on it.
Awesome.
Taking it forward.
Well, I think the community will be happy with those. Before we get into any of those features in detail that I just mentioned, we have to introduce our newest playable character and newest Syndicate operative, Boss the Street Merc. Daniel, I know you concepted Boss. You're the mind behind getting Boss made. So who is Boss, and how did he meet the other Syndicate operatives?
So Boss is a street merc. He's a close combat oriented guy. He uses a shotgun, and we want to do something with his fists at some point. So he's a very kind of close range oriented character. This kind of shotgun interaction is something we've had for a while. We've had it in our prototypes for a long time, and it's super fun, and it's got that like that 90s vision of VR, you know, like back in the 90s, when you think about VR, you have like some kind of crazy headset and a dude doing this, you know, in the air, and so that's the kind of thing that we've been wanting to bring to you guys for a long time, and we're just waiting for the right opportunity to do it, and this is kind of it.
Awesome. What were some of the inspirations for the way he looks and the vision you guys had for him?
So a big part of just his visual design comes from, I mean, again, we're definitely pulling from just kind of classic action movies, a lot from the 90s and early 2000s. You know, definitely the elements of Morpheus in there are pretty prominent. Morpheus from The Matrix. I also was thinking about Bato from Ghost in the Shell. A little bit of that kind of circular eyepiece kind of look, and just kind of the very kind of cyborged out kind of guy. We wanted to give him like just big, beefy metal arms, just really emphasize that sense of power and kind of control that he has.
How did he get those metal arms, by the way?
Oh, his arms were ripped off by robots at some point. So.
Damn you, robots! This is why we kill you.
He's got a vendetta. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, he looks awesome. I got to play him the other day, and it's so much fun having the shotgun back. I know the community saw a bunch of early raw data videos back in the day where we had a couple weapons that we don't have now, but you'll be getting the shotgun back, which is an amazing addition, I feel like. But it is tuned up. So Amy is in the Vive as Boss right now. Let's briefly go through some of Boss's weapons and abilities. Andrew, if you want to take that away.
Sure. So Boss is obviously the brawler type. He's all about the shotgun, but we didn't just want to give him a shotgun. He is very much about like taking down the heavy enemies, really good close quarters. So his shotgun itself, it has a pretty tight spread. So you're not necessarily great at taking out a massive field in front of you, but you're really good at focusing damage in a tight area. On top of that, we have grenades, which they're bouncing, but they're also on contact. So you can kind of play around with them. They're to take out the bigger groups that you might not get with your spread, because you have limited range. That being said, if you do get close and you start unloading, you can take out heavies, you can take out grenadiers really quickly. On top of that, we also have this air juggle ability. It's the primary ability we're launching with for boss, and if you guys turn that on, it'll basically let you pop up enemies into the air, suspend them in midair, and then you and your friends can then continue to wail on them, keep them in midair. The longer you shoot them, the longer they stay up. You'll probably pop up a whole bunch and only grab a couple, but it's a great CC, and it's a great way to just take a breather and also like style out and just ruin everything in an awesome fashion.
By CC, you mean
crowd control.
Crowd control.
Yes.
So boss is like a very team-oriented character.
Very team-oriented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Combo starter for
Oh
sure.
yeah, definitely.
Combo starter. Okay.
You get boss in there, you get bishop in there, you got bullet time going on while everyone's popped up in the air. I mean, that's just epic.
Oh yeah. Take them out nice.
Trying to give you opportunities to put in that, get in that wombo combo with your ultimate abilities.
Definitely. Also later on, I mean, we all love the pumping motion and it feels great, but it can get a little cumbersome over a while, just continuously this hand movement. I was told not to do on screen, but doing it anyway. So you'll get a quad chamber upgrade, which means you pump once, 4 shots. This not only allows you to really maximize on your DPS, damage per second, but it also lets you basically one-hand for a while. So you do one pump, go around one-handed shotgun style. Also, shotgun being a very large object and being physicalized in the world, you can just bash bots' heads in with it. So you just, that's it, bam.
That's awesome.
So that's actually one thing I really liked about playing as boss, is that his gun is actually long enough that it's a pretty effective melee weapon, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can actually literally, you can have some range with that. It extends your melee range by
Yeah,
like a
definitely. I mean,
significant amount.
it really makes the one-handed style kind of viable because you can use your shotgun as a bludgeoning weapon, take out the little ones, and then unload with 4 shots into like a heavier enemy, basically. On top of that, you can unlock the proximity reload, a little bit different than Bishop's reload, so you don't just go down to your hips. You have to bring your shotgun up and then bring down. In practice, it's devastating. You can get really good with just the idea of up, reload, pump, unload, just destroy everything, control the field. But you have to be very mobile. You have to get in the bots' faces. You have to really be moving around a lot. So.
Awesome. Do we have, just wanted to ask you if we have anything down the road we can unveil a little bit about boss in terms of other abilities and...
So boss is very much a work in progress. He's coming in a little bit bare bones right now in the sense that he's got his shotgun, his grenade, and his one ability. We've been talking about an entire range of abilities, starting with like a rocket jump maybe, it's kind of crazy side, going towards like something like an earthquake ability where you can essentially destroy all the bots that have been flown up in the air. So comboing it with that. And of course we want it to be about the brawling. So having the ability to maybe like energize your fists, really take advantage of the cool metallic arms that we have going on and just start wailing on bots.
Yeah, so you'll notice in the concept art from the sneak peek earlier, you'll notice there's a few concepts of his arm kind of exposing the muscle fibers underneath. And that's something we definitely want to play into. We'll eventually have those arms open up somehow, and there'll be a cool animation that shows you how his arms power up, and then probably activate some kind of new ability or ultimate.
Yeah, everything's very much still being worked on, so we'll see what happens. But exciting stuff. Boss should be super fun anyway.
Yeah, he's super fun. Got to play him a bunch, and he's freaking awesome. It's good to have the shotgun back. All right, Andrew, now that we've gone through boss's weapons and abilities, what are some general tactics players want to keep in mind while playing boss?
All right, so just briefly going into the CC aspect, crowd control, for example. If I have Group A on my left and Group B on my right, and I just can't deal with both of them at the same time, using the air juggle to essentially put a pause on Group A while dealing with Group B is a huge like consideration. And on top of that, I mean, if you really want to mix it up, I pause Group A, they're juggled up in the air. I pop some plasma grenades, blow them up, and then head over to Group B and just wail on them. That's it. I mean, just the effect of being able to really control combat, slightly similar to how Saija does, but in a little bit more of a concrete way of just like, stop, go, dead.
It's a little bit, it's almost more aggressive than Saija because it pops them up in the air and allows your other heroes to
Yeah, and that's not
Get
to
in on the
say
combo.
the various combos that you can have, right? Perfect example, if you want something super devastating with Saija, not only can you keep enemies extended up in the air, which, by the way, the longer that you hit an enemy that's popped up in the air, the longer they will stay up in the air, and the higher that they will go. You can keep them up in the air with Shuriken String, or you can use a Katana Throw to wipe them out, or if you're feeling really spicy, you can get in there. As they're coming down, you do a levitation smash, going up in the air, coming down, and just eradicating the whole lot of them. Really devastating stuff. And then, of course, Bishop and Boss go together just so nicely. I mean, Bishop can basically deal out that DPS that keeps them all popped up in the air, or can just take them out with plasma shots, or can do a fusion shot, which is essentially just like a stronger grenade. And on top of that, obviously, Bullet Storm and Time Warp. Time Warp just making everything amazing. So having everybody in the air while Time Warp is going on with fusion shot, blowing up as you're doing Bullet Storm it's just insanity. It's awesome.
So it seems like almost whenever you have a partner playing boss, you're playing co-op, right? And your partner's playing boss. Whenever you see him start shooting the guys in the air, you want to also get in on that. You want to really pay attention to what the boss is doing if he's your partner in the game.
Yeah.
And that way you can just get huge combos together.
Communication is key, guys. If you want to take out a huge group of enemies that are all around you, you got to plan out who you're going to suppress while having your other teammate essentially be on top of the whole situation.
Yeah. Because I noticed air juggle doesn't last. Like, you really have to communicate with your partner because air juggle doesn't last nearly as long as you think it would. But if you combo it with Time Warp, you can make anything happen with that combo.
And there are ways to group up enemies. So if you're Saija and you gravity thrust enemies closer and closer into a ball, and then basically they all get popped up and blown up with the grenade. I mean, that's super effective. So.
We want to jump into some new levels, but before that, since Amy's in the showroom, why don't we show our next new feature, multiplayer leaderboard. So if you jump over to the center of the room, pull up the menu here. Boop. Multiplayer leaderboards are here. We had single player leaderboards for a while, but Andrew, if you want to give a little detail on that, it's pretty self-explanatory. But
pretty much. I mean, everybody loves to play with friends, and before we were just tracking individual scores. Now we're tracking group scores. We have an entire leaderboard dedicated to not just you, but the friend you were playing with, which, since it's in that kind of team combination, potentially one person could dominate the top of the leaderboards, be on multiple teams at the same time. So I don't know if that's a challenge for anybody out there, but maybe.
Maybe.
Awesome.
Well, without further ado, let's Amy, let's hop into our first of two new missions, Thundershock. Andrew, as level designer, you took a big part in designing this level, obviously. So what makes this level different than any other missions players have seen thus far?
So Thundershock, right off the get-go, like really high level when we were talking about it, we wanted a very environmental map. It's a very hazard-based map. Just the main thing that you're dealing with are lightning strikes. Progressively more intense and more dangerous lightning strikes. And it's raining, first of all, so amazing work on the art and things, like just glorious, honestly. But with the rain, you'll be seeing like basically these radial fizzle electricity spheres that eventually strike with lightning. If you get hit by the lightning, it takes out a good chunk of life. If bots get hit by the lightning, it steroids them, so they get stronger. So you definitely want to focus them as soon as possible. And your turrets can get temporarily knocked out by lightning. So very intense. Layout-wise, it's completely different than our other maps. It's much farther along in the story. So you'll see less of a lane structure and more of like this general, basically like a circle, encouraging very much doing the rounds around the map. And most importantly of all, leading with that is the fact that there are 2 data cores. So you're not only defending your single orange core, but now you also have a blue core to defend. Both of them, which share life, you have to be on top of them constantly. And the way to do that is not only to pay attention to them and try to find good vantage points, but also to do those rounds, to make sure you're clearing everybody in the map and being very thorough about it. And obviously dodging light.
Yes. It's freaking fun. I played it the other day, and I got to wave 5 or phase 5 and did not beat it. So
it's definitely a hard map.
Yeah,
this
I played it single player, so give it. I mean, I thought I did pretty well, but yeah, very tough map. I love the 2 data core aspect. That's amazing. It makes you move like you haven't really had to before, protecting 2 different areas. But yeah, while we're up here, let's talk about the new defense type, the shield station. What's that all about, Andrew?
So what you've been building are turrets, very offensive weapons. Well, defense, offense, you're shooting at things. Anyway, shield station is essentially a bubble that you get to deploy. Not only can it help you defend your own turrets, so it expands their life, it also can help you defend the data core. So if you put a bubble around the core with the shield emitter, it'll be a little bit more defended. The shield itself has energy, so the more hits it takes, the energy goes down, and then what you'll be left with is the pillar of the actual emitter, which, by the way, totally viable as cover. We've designed it that way. You could crouch underneath it, shoot from the side of it, all that kind of stuff. And then eventually it'll rebubble. It'll get its energy back, come back online, and can also be healed. So a very flexible item for deployment.
Awesome. And one of the things I noticed are the in this level are the massive amounts of ninja bots that are in this stage that can now teleport.
Yes.
So I think we have to think, is that DZ's job that he designed that, or is that Mike?
I think it's a combination of both. They both
sick.
just want to ruin the player's day. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have these variants that are now teleporting ninja bots. They're very nasty in Thundershock because now you see them, now you don't.
Yes.
So besides the stealth bots that were already kind of like, you're always looking out for them, the ninja bots, or the teleporting ninja bots particularly, can be kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, they have a lot of life. It seems like they have a lot of HP. So.
Yes, and in general, the ninja bots have been tuned up. They're more difficult to fight. They dodge more. It takes a lot of effort to kind of like battle one head to head. So,
awesome. Andrew, I heard there's a on the level Thundershock. There's a Easter egg hidden in the map somewhere. Could you explain this a little bit?
I don't know. Is there an Easter egg?
I guess he's not saying. You have
Figure it out, guys.
You have to figure it out on your own.
Yep.
Let's move into since we took a look at Thundershock. Let's take a look at our next mission. So Amy's going to jump into the showroom and go to our next mission, Extermination. I got a chance to play this one as well on top of Thundershock, and I left, my HMD was super sweaty. I mean, when I play, I get it sweaty already, but this stage made me like super sweaty. I don't know if it was intended, but you have to move like you've never had to move before in terms of your physical body. Was that
very much
intentional?
Intended. Yeah, it's all about the laser dance here. So we got lasers coming horizontally. We have them moving around the room. We have some vertical ones, crisscrossing ones, all the types basically, just to get you moving as much as possible. And at the same time, you're not just dodging lasers, right? This is raw data. There are robots. They are trying to kill you. You still have your data core to defend. It's a very intense experience that also has a change of, a transition from one room to another with a little element in the middle. And we leave that for people to figure out.
Yes.
But more to come from that in the future, just to say.
Yeah, Extermination is definitely, it's starting to become one of my favorite levels, just because, we're introducing a nice change of pace, I guess, like a little bit of more of a problem solving. I mean, the Hollywood idea behind that was like the Mission Impossible, that kind of laser hallway scene that you see in movies as you're, a stealthy operator and you're trying to get in and all of a sudden, oh, lasers, what do I do? And just some of that like kind of puzzle solving aspect almost really helps change up the pace a little bit, and I think it brings a lot of depth to our game.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, I noticed, Amy's about to see the lasers for the first time. We got these lasers going by her now. So I noticed there are yellow lasers or orange lasers and red lasers. What are the main difference between those guys?
So we have the damaging lasers, which do a little bit of damage. There are the thicker yellow ones, which are insta-kill, but they're quite slow. And then the red ones that we're talking about are alarm lasers. So when you pass on those, we have bots that spawn. So the more you dodge, the less you have to deal with bots. But the moment you start making mistakes, it can spiral out of control. So it's very important to be on top of yourself and just know where you are, where you are in the world. Yeah.
But yeah, you certainly have to move around way more than usual in this level. And
yeah.
I know Isaiah as well has been working on this a lot. Every time I pass his desk, he's reconfiguring laser beams and whatnot.
Yep.
But
everybody wants all these different types of configurations for lasers. He's trying to get them all in there.
Oh, so these are the red ones.
Well,
Why don't you run through them?
Uh-oh.
Oh, so it says, yeah, exploder bots come out, and every time you touch one of those red lasers, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So even when you teleport through them.
Yeah, so it's important to note that just because you're teleporting, I mean, you're still moving through this world. You will still hit them. So it isn't it isn't a free pass. You got to be crouched if you want to go under lasers. It's not just like and teleport. You know, it didn't matter.
Awesome. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys for stopping by. Remember, you can check out our full list of features and fixes on our Steam community page. And before we leave, we wanted to announce our Play Like a Boss contest, where you can enter to win a Core i7 processor, 6700K. Not too shabby, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Can I get in on that?
No, you cannot get on that. We'll be giving away raw data t-shirts, pens, stickers, and a flash drive. But it's that Core i7 that is the prize of all prizes. Just to enter, you have to upload a video or GIF of your best or most creative kill with boss, and hashtag play like a boss. Also put @Survios, so you can submit this to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and we will be checking out the entries. But yeah, enter. The contest lasts from Wednesday to Thursday, so get that in before next Thursday to win those sweet prizes. You can also, if you'd like, submit feedback or report a bug. Go to rawdatagame.com, hit that support tab, and we'll be make sure Alan takes a look at that. Trusty old Alan. Check us out on social media at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Steam. But for Daniel, Andrew, Amy, and Hunter behind the boards, thanks for stopping by, and see you guys next time.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Whoa, that's a bit too many now. Oh, crap.